Bird. I wonder if it's going from here. Test, test, 1, 2, test. But it's staticky. It's staticky. Ooh, there. Testing, testing. Test, test.
But I didn't hear you say testing yet.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, test, test.
pantry. Take a sip and I'm dancing. She bought like a plan B. She lit like a candle. Booted up in the car seat. Hold it for ransom. Want her back, better call me. It's whatever, I'm geek. Buying a punch at the party. I'm fly, looking dummy. I'm about to get fried. I look like I'm money. I'm getting this cash. It's Monday to Sunday. I guess you won't talk if it ain't about the money. My boys in the trap and they jump like a bunny. Got pounds in. It ain't nothing funny. Ride the hallway, ride the bus. I do damage, can't stand it. Psycho bandit, like it's Marilyn Manson. Got the cash advancing, get the Sprite and enhance it. Pull the walk out the pantry, take a sip and I'm dancing. She bought like a plan B, she lit like a candle. Booted up in the car seat, hold it for ransom. Want her back, better call me. It's whatever, I'm geek. Buying a punch at the party. I'm fly, looking dummy. I'm about to get fried. I look like I'm money. I'm getting this cash. It's Monday to Sunday. I guess you won't talk if it ain't about the money. My boys in the trap and they jump like a bunny. Got pounds in. It ain't nothing funny.
Test, test, 1, 2, test.
Testing, 1, 2, testing, testing.
Class 4A Round 2 playoff.
Not tonight, Steve.
Aiken High School Fighting Green
It's today.
And your Oceanside Collegiate Academy Land Sharks. Oceanside Collegiate Academy and the South Carolina High School League promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and fans. We request your cooperation in supporting student athletes and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, derogatory comments, or other intimidating actions are directed at athletes, officials, team representatives, while the fans will not be tolerated under grounds for removal. We appreciate your cooperation in creating a safe and positive game environment. Be loud, be proud, and be positive. At this time, we ask you to please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Reef at Oceanside Collegiate Academy in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina for today's Round 2 playoff tilt. Oceanside Collegiate Academy Land Sharks versus the Aiken Hornets. Welcoming to my right, as always, Chris Gregory. I almost called you Chris Gregory. Christopher Harrison, the coach. Chris Gregory is another volunteer.
I have a couple more hairs than he does.
You got a few more hairs than he does. And Angie Gregory to my left on the camera. And, Coach, it is playoff lacrosse. The specter of triple zeros is in the horizon for our kids, our seniors. And the prophecy is in the process of being fulfilled as we march through this playoffs. And we open play tonight after enjoying the only 4A bye that was issued by the state South Carolina High School League, and we are excited. We haven't done this for a week and a half.
It's been 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks.
It feels like forever.
I think it's 2 weeks and a day, to be specific. We were last here in the monsoon of Mount Pleasant. I'm getting my rear end cleansed here. Apparently I sat in something. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's playoff time. It's 85 degrees and humid, so that's usually a pretty good indication. But I'll tell you, the bye was nice, but I don't know about your son. My son wanted to get out and play.
AJ has been chomping at the bit since Easter Sunday. It feels weird, was what I was told, to not be going out. You know, practices during Easter week and the break were kind of, you know, they were fun. They played 6-on-6, and, you know, the winners didn't have to go to practice the next day. And, you know, Coach Tom Harris tried to keep it light, and but now the boys are locked in.
Yeah, I would think as a coach it's tough to keep motivation during that period. Now, I think this team does a really darn good job of motivating themselves, but as a coach, I think you walk a fine line between going too hard and not going hard enough. The feedback I got from the boys was they felt like it was good. They had some fun, but they still had good, productive practices, and we'll see how it all pans out here today at the Reef.
Well, it certainly did a lot to build wild anticipation of what, again, fulfilling the prophecy of a state title and bringing that trophy back to Faison Road since the last time in 2019. And it is whistled in, and Cole the Clamp gets it, feeds it off to A.J. Zarzaka, who darts across the half line, feeds it up to Peanut Seaton. Peanut looking for the pole goal to start, gets denied by the goaltender, number 99. That is Ryder Ward, a large fellow in goal. The big fellow makes the first save against Peanut, and the trigger comes out, makes a move, and let's get a good idea. Ian Long, the freshman, he makes his move across the front, feeds it off to Magic MJ Zanone, feeds it back to the trigger. Trigger looking for somewhere to go. Looks like they got a spring in their step. The Land Sharks look sharp coming out of the gate.
Yeah,
Carter Gregory coming around,
Wasted no time putting rubber on goal there.
There was the trigger in that beautiful shot that we always have the best angle for. He missed the pole wide by about 6 inches, the left goal post there. Ball's whistled back in, backed up, all the way up top to Carter Gregory. He's going to make the dodge, and we've got a Hornets team here that's taking heavy pressure early. Another save by 99, Ward. Ryder Ward so far is staunch in net. Feed out front. Carter Gregory has free. 3 saves in a row, and that's going to be a turnover.
Goalie doing a nice job here for the Hornets.
Brody, the double deuce, putting pressure on the goaltender. Now let's see that there's an errant pass on the outlet, and that's going to be intercepted by Andy Jones. Andy Jones with his playoff due, all blonde under there. There's Brody. Brody gets the dink in. The double deuce breaks the ice at 10:34 for the Oceanside Land Sharks, and we're up 1-0.
And I tried to do a replay, and it's black.
You've been denied.
The
YOLO box has a world of its own.
It would not be broadcast if something didn't work right out of the gate here.
Well,
sorry, everyone at home.
As our broadcasting mentor, my cousin Scott Cockrell, watching from Lake Hartwell, I'm sure, will attest. Live TV has its advantages and disadvantages, and when we mess up or the YOLO gods say no, we got what we got, Coach.
I feel like the YOLO gods just like laughing at me. I don't know why.
The ball's whistled in. The clamp tries to get it. There's a tie up there. It's going to be Oceanside ball for a holding call. A.J. Zarzak is going to bring it across the half line. I'll tell you what, the feet look lively out there after the break. Everybody's well rested. We went on a couple of weeks where we were 2, 3, 4 games a week.
Yeah, I think the thing is, Tony, you get used to that, right? It's kind of like it becomes part of your being, and then all of a sudden to have 2 weeks off. I'm sure it was enjoyed by some of the guys that are trying to heal up a little bit, but it just feels different.
Tom Harris taking advantage of the fact he's got 2 very productive lines. He's got the number 2 line out there. Finn Wagner checks in, Kamikaze Costa. And I can't see who that third party is going to be. Oh, it's Liam Rosebach over on the other side.
See, we're out of practice. We're not even remembering the numbers here.
I actually took the time to go through the roster, and there's Kamikaze Costa drilling through the middle, and he gets another dinker that goes in. 9:40, 2-0 Land Sharks,
and
just like that.
The replay works now.
And we got the replay. Good job, Coach.
So Brody didn't get his, but Costa's good. So.
Well, Kamikaze Costa comes up with the second goal for Oceanside here at the 9:40 mark, and we're back out with the front line for the face-off. The clamp is 2-0 on the score sheet. There was a procedure issue on the last one. Interesting to see the playoff dues I mentioned before. We've got the trigger, Blondie, and there's the clamp goes coast to coast like butter and toast. So that's 3-0 Land Sharks, and that only took 7 seconds.
Just one big fluid motion there.
So with that, Cole the Clamp is going to move himself up into the number 2 slot for ground ball recoveries on the season as a freshman. It's so great to see this group back out here again. We've got kind of 85 degrees, overcast skies, thank God, because if the sun comes out, we're going to bake. Not a breath of air. The flags on the goalposts and the American flag are standing still. There's a kind of a football hike by the Clamp there. He feeds it back to Peanut, back up to the Clamp. He feeds it up into Carter Gregory. Peanut Seaton was going to try and get involved in the settled offense, and they said, no, you big fella, get back on your side of the line.
Yeah, you had your shot the first series.
Yeah, you came out with the first shot of the game, and big number 99 there is busy early. Ryder Ward in net for the Hornets.
Yeah, he had a great stand on that first series. Nice job by the goalie in there.
3 back-to-back saves, good shots, and, of course, the Trigger shot went wide, but he was where he needed to be. I don't think it would have got home.
Yeah, I mean, Trigger was wide there because he had nothing to shoot at. So
Carter Gregory drills one in. That's going to be 4-0 Oceanside. 8:46 in the first.
Little worm burner there, gets by his feet.
So the Hornets are a 3-year-old program. I got some time to meet with their coach. And Aiken County is kind of doing what Charleston County did. They're trying to get their youth programs up and running. They're trying, lacrosse is catching on throughout the Low Country. Well, they're not the Low Country. They're what would be considered the upstate. But, they're working hard there to proliferate the county with lacrosse. And, of course, that means you have to compete with soccer and baseball and other spring sports, track and field, which are all pretty successful, as I understand it, in the Aiken community. And they pull some kids from Augusta across the river. There's Peanut, rings one off the post. A one-hopper off the post goes wide. It's going to stay with Oceanside. Carter Gregory's going to bring it in from under the light post.
Yeah, Tony, I had a plan of busting on you this morning because we always have our saying, this one's been circled on the calendar, right? We didn't have the circled on the calendar because we never played these guys.
We never played these guys. There's no rivalry to be had. So, yeah, that's right. There is no.
It's the first game not circled on the calendar.
That's correct. That is correct. I think we're going to get a couple of those coming up. If we are successful here, that will bring probably one of our old rivals in. And there's Brody, the double deuce, going in for his second. 5-0 Oceanside, 8 minutes to go. And the field is tilted. The Hornets are they're in trouble early here. We want to welcome in that crowd from the Hornets. They travel well. They came out in force here, made the trip to upstate. Or to the low country here from the upstate. And
we just hosted their ladies last night, did we not?
We did. And
may have had some parents doing double duty there.
We may. Our Oceanside Lady Land Sharks and Coach Ashley McCullough's team just pounded the Hornets to a 21-1 victory. The girls are kind of on a mission. They consider that their hashtag is the 2C DIS. That's what they're calling it. They got the 2C DIS.
Wherever you find your motivation, that's all that matters.
That's right. And they were in top form last night. It was a carousel. I see LJ Finlayson behind me, a couple of the girls that all rang in last night with goals, and it was great to see that. Appreciate them coming out to support the boys here. The Oceanside faithful is lining the fence. All the normal usual suspects and a few more. I understand that Lucy Beckham routed North Myrtle Beach last night in the boys' contest up there.
Yeah, I didn't get too caught up on the scores this morning, unfortunately.
So playoff lacrosse throughout the state of South Carolina is up and running in full force. And, again, this is our first game, ladies and gentlemen, because of the bye week. So it's good to be back at it. We've kind of watched everybody else. We had, Wando is in full force. We were the only ones that got the bye here in the low country with the 1 seed, so everybody else is kind of coming from behind.
Yeah, you have so many more 5 teams because they even break down into 2 divisions, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, I don't know that I'm ever going to understand that. How you can have 2 5A state champions. I think they got to do some work there at the league. But, there's a lot going on with the league over in Columbia and trying to figure out what the future of our organized house. There's A.J. Zarzak finds the twine. Yahtzee.
What a pass from Peanut Seaton to Zarzaka there. I have no idea how he threaded that one through, but AJ and Peanut making that look easy.
So the big fella comes and taps the little fella on his head and says, good job. And normally that feed is the other way around where AJ's feeding it in to the zone. So he takes advantage of it, and our boy AJ lights the lamp, 33 in for the 6th goal at the 7:51 mark. And it is all Land Sharks here early. The Clamp, they whistle it in. The Clamp, I believe, is undefeated on the dot here. Feeds it over to Peanut, feeds it into AJ. AJ dumps it down to Ian Long down behind the freshman with his Ian Long's enjoyed, as a freshman here, has enjoyed a total of 8 hat tricks on the year. He's got more goals than that. But
so Tony, I am going to say, looks like he's got a flashy new head on that stick.
I see that.
You may have to have a conversation with him about changing things up.
What the coach is referring to is I am an old warhorse. The coach in me and the player, the old school football player in me, you don't change anything when you're on a streak. And these Oceanside Land Sharks haven't lost since week 4 of the season. And there's a feed that just misses MJ coming to the cage. The trigger comes in. He gets dumped. Legal shot. No balls on the ground. There was no flag. And the Oceanside ride is
good
authoritative.
Good hustle by both sides there. That's some good ground ball lacrosse.
So we've got Gavin manages to keep it out.
Nope,
they called it in. Gavin had it. He's going to – your boy's going to – he's going to have a tough time digesting that.
Yeah, he had that stopped, and it kind of rolled up over the top of his stick head, and before you know it, it's behind him in the cage.
It might have had some nasty spin on it, and it just kind of rolled out of his cross and kept on rolling. No harm, no foul there. 6-1 Oceanside, so Aiken gets on the board. I didn't see what number that was, and again, I'll apologize to the Hornet community that we're just a couple of dads here, like we always get the same disclaimer, so we're going to learn your boys' names throughout, and I missed the number on that, so congratulations to that young man. The Clamp loses one.
Aiken building some momentum here.
So that's number 10, who's Alex Stegmeyer. He rolls it over to number 6. My roster is not in order. That's Camp Elvis. Now, that may be the coolest name of the year. So, Elvis, we're just going to call him Elvis because if your last name's Elvis, you're Elvis. He rolls it over. There's number 10. He rings a shot in. That was Alex Stegmeyer. Put one on Gavin. Gavin eats it up, pushes it out to Silas Gillum. He's got blonde locks coming out from under his blue helmet, too. I'm going to get back to that no change rule here in a second, Coach, because
yeah, we got some action going. It's good.
While we have a stoppage, well, I'll wait till the timeout. I have a little more to say about that. All right, so there's number 8's got the ball. That's Field Thurman. Thurman rolls in. He's got C.J. Thomas, the pickpocket, cover number 1 there. That's Cody Young. Young feeds it over to Stegmeyer. Stegmeyer takes a shot on it. He gets buried by Sawyer Arnold. No flag. Arnold was looking back toward the box, but he doesn't have to walk there.
Got a bucket down on the field. That'll take number 10 off for some repairs.
So they whistled in. Number 2 brings it in. That's Caden Sapp. He feeds it off to number 6 there, Elvis. Elvis makes kind of a fake there. He's got a face full of peanuts eaten, and nobody's going to look forward to that matchup. Dishes it off to Cody. Back over to Elvis. Back to Cody. Pushes it back behind. And there's another goal. Good pressure, good sustained pressure by the Hornets here, trying to settle in. That's going to be 6-2 at the 5-minute mark.
Nice dodging work from back at X there by Aiken. They took advantage of that short stick matchup back there and got the ball wrapped around the front of the goal.
So that's Caden Sapp, number 2, doing some gritty work down there on the goal crease in front of Gavin Harrison, and that brings it to 2-6, 5-minute mark to go in the first.
So, Tony, definitely a momentum shift here. I think Oceanside's got to win this face-off and get some momentum going back the other way.
So that's number 7 is Cullen Avushine. I'm not sure how to say that. We're going to call him Cullen. So Cullen loses the face-off. It's into the Hornets zone, pushed back to the double deuce behind the net, out to Carter Gregory. Oceanside's going to change up here and take a pause, so Carter will go camp out under the pole there, wait for the trigger to come on. There's the outlet. Trigger coming over to his spot here on the near side. He's got MJ Magic Zanone. Jackson Hyman lurking on the far side of the field. We have a full coaching staff in here today with Joey Boylston making an appearance, the All-American defender from Utah. Recently graduated. And there's a bobble. There's good defense by 14. And I don't have 14 on the roster, so he's going to be 14. It's recovered by the Landsharks. Back over to MJ. Good job, Jackson Hyman.
Yeah, Jackson Hyman said, you're not taking my ball, I'm taking that back. And he was fit to get that ball back, and he did.
So gritty work there by Jackson. So we've got the Oceanside Landsharks and the Aiken Hornets in South Carolina High School League playoff action. Sharks are deep into the Hornets zone. Feed in front, and Ian Long, the freshman, rings one off of 2 posts. The goal god said no. Over to the trigger. A lot of motion, a lot of movement. There was a feed in front for Ian, didn't work.
ground balls are like kryptonite today for us. I mean, we're just like struggling to pick them up cleanly. That could just be knocking the rust off here from 2 weeks off.
Well, that's what I'm going to say, Coach. I'm going to go with that because we've been pretty gritty on our ground ball game, and that's been a strength of our team through the 10-11 game run that we've had. And there's the trigger with a drive, and Ward says no.
Nice low save by number 99 in goal.
So the outlet to 14, Nick Harris. Harris runs up. He's being harassed.
Great
by Peanut
check by
Seaton.
Seaton.
That's going to come over. That's going to be back to the trigger. Trigger's looking for some allies and some numbers. MJ gets back on sides, and Finn Wagner's going to check into the game. Over to Ian Long, 2:24 to play.
So no one has those Dr. Seuss cleats in full effect today.
So it looks like there might have been, he kind of got caught out there. It looks like Coach Harris is looking for the 2 line. So here comes Rosebach in here. Takes a feed from Gregory over to Finn Wagner. One hopper, he puts it on the ground, spins out of it. Number 5 overran him, opens up shop. Finn couldn't handle the pass in front, and that's going to be a turnover.
I think we're going to
that's
have
going to be Ben Hatchell.
Loose ball push or loose ball hold, so that's going to stay with Aiken.
So Ben Hatcher, I tell you, this Aiken team's got size. They're big boys
They
out there.
do have some big boys out there.
Looks like they've got some infiltration from the football team, similar to our situation where they've got some beef on this team. Ward walks it all the way out to the O, and then there's a deflected shot by Peanut, or a deflected pass by Peanut, ends up on the ground. They still come up with it, and that's going to be Cody Young over on the far side. So Elvis has it on the near side.
1:27 left in the first.
Pushes it around. That's Stegmeyer. Stegmeyer's being harassed by Peanut. Back over to Elvis. Elvis makes a kind of a fake shot there, stutter step. Andy Jones has him well covered. Andy backs him out. Pushes it back over to Cody Young. Cody Young comes inside. He goes top shelf on Harrison. So that is 3 unanswered goals by the Hornets coach after a 6-0 run.
I'm thinking if there wasn't a minute left in this first quarter, we would have had a timeout from the Oceanside sideline. I don't think Coach Harris can be too happy about what he's seeing on this field right now.
Yeah, and kudos to the Hornets for the adjustment here. It's just been a little bit of a combination of their tightening up and we're a little sloppy in the offensive zone. Fair?
I would say, definite just sloppiness on this Oceanside team and Aiken being in a position to take advantage of it. Nice job by them, too. I mean, certainly grittiness, getting the balls in some tough places, working from behind the goal.
So this Aiken, is flexing a little country boy grit from the upstate there. I've got some friends from the Aiken area, and that is a hard-working part of the state.
It is beautiful there.
It is gorgeous country. There's AJ, feeds it over to Carter Gregory, and Carter puts a worm burner and says, enough of this. And he drills one on the ground, about an inch off the ground, past Ward. Zarzaka to Carter. Gregory, cash money.
So, Tony, we missed an achievement before. Jackson Hyman had an assist early in this game, and that assist put him in the top 10 for single-season assist holders on our team.
Congratulations. Good
to see. Good to hear.
This team is laden and a serious threat to multiple records. We're going to have a lot of those announcements, I feel. There's the clamp doing gritty work on the dot. Rolls around, makes a spin, feeds it off to Carter. Carter looks to AJ Zarzaka. AJ at the top of the restraining box there, rolls inside, tries to give a pick to Ian. Ian says, I'm going to go the other way. I don't need your pick. And the sustained offense, the normal one line will be out there as we wait for Jackson Hyman to roll out onto the field. He gets out.
Got to presume Oceanside looking for a last shot here with 18 seconds ticking down in the first.
That means it's Hyman time. It's high time. Gregory looking for it, pushes it back to the double deuce. Out front to Ian, couldn't handle the pass. Ball's rolling around on the ground. Hyman gets it, feeds it inside, and Trigger couldn't handle that. Little sloppy. So the first quarter is going to come to a close, and it's going to be 7-3 Oceanside, but the what looked like a rout starting early, the Hornets have gathered themselves and said, not so fast, as an ode to Lee Corso, recently retired after a long and storied coaching and announcing career. Not so fast, you would say.
Fast.
So that's going to bring us to the end of a quarter, clean quarter, no penalties in the quarter. So both teams playing clean. There was a couple of little collisions there, but nothing that would draw the laundry out. I'll get back to my point about the school and Tom. In my double duty as the board treasurer, I knew it was coming because I signed a purchase order for brand new top of the line Cascade matte black helmets. I'm sure you had one come home, as everyone did. And while everyone was overjoyed with that, I came down Wednesday morning after the kickback at Coach Tom's house on Tuesday night where he distributed these brain buckets. And I was probably the only person that wasn't excited about it because I don't like to change anything.
Right.
As you made a point to tell me. So I find it interesting that the blue hats are on. So I feel like my subliminal messaging to AJ, one of the captains, to say, look, I don't know if this is a good idea.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and to Tony's point, my son, the goalie, number 10, Harrison, you may notice he has tape on his knee. The tape is there.
There's nothing wrong with his knee.
There's nothing wrong with his knee. The tape is there to hold on his decrepit knee pad that Tony will not let him change out for a new one. So we have superstition running abroad here on this team, and that's a good thing, though, because, again, we're here to keep the streak intact. Now is not the time of the season where we want the streak to go away.
Well, and he changed that pad. I forget which team came in here. It was one of the teams from the upstate. It was right before the IMG game. He changed that pad for a half, and he had the worst half he had in like 8 games.
Yeah, he had a less than stellar moment on the field,
right.
and that fixed that real quick.
Which caused one of my favorite events in the fact that I was right. So here's the clamp rolling down. The clamp says, I'm going to take it. He skipped it. It actually caught crossbar.
Yeah, a little back check there from the Aiken squad, and nicely done keeping that shot high.
Brody backs it up. Over to Carter Gregory on the near side. The teams have changed ends, so Ward is on the Faison Road end of the field here. What would be the south end. Trigger comes on. Jackson Hyman on the near side. 7-3, just opening the second quarter here. There's a shot in off of Ward's ankle. And this goaltender, I'll tell you what, Ward is staunch in net. He covers a lot of it. He's a big fellow. And there's Carter Gregory. He says, I'm going to take it anyway. So Carter rings in his second of the game. And that's his third of the game, so that's his hat trick. Thank you, Marina Harrison, for correcting me, our statistician here. So the first man to hat trick is Carter Gregory. Cash money cashes in. He will chase a sombrero as we move through the rest of the game. For those that don't remember, sombreros if they get 6, because we had to invent something to call it, a bigger hat.
So we're looking for some chats on our comment board. If you're out there, here they come.
So with the assist, Brody he climbed up to number 8 on the career assist list here, as Marina informs me. He says, congrats to the double deuce, the bro man. And we've got the Hornets coming in. Reese Meredith, Robo Reese, is taking care of business over there. That's number 8, Field Thurman. Thurman is getting the business from Robo Reese and finding out why we call him that. There's a bobble by number 6, Elvis. Gavin Harrison's got it, and he starts taking off, does an underhand flip to Sawyer Arnold. Sawyer having a little trouble corralling it. It's not what he does, and he drills it out, and he actually stepped out of bounds. He put that size 13 foot on the line. I don't know that he actually wears a size 13, but those boats are big.
Yeah, you got to have big feet to support that body.
Indeed. So there's number 11. Braden Sapp brings it over. He takes a whistles one high. It's backed up. It's going to stay with the Hornets here, and that's going to be number 2, Caden Sapp. Going to bring it in from under the goalpost. A little bit of confusion out there on the side. Peanut Seaton has Sapp well covered. He's going to dish it out to number 11. 11 is Braden Sapp. Oh, there's 2 Sapps. There's a Braden and a Cadence. That's why I'm having trouble here. So there's a lot of sap in that tree.
Harrison.
A.J. Zarzaka goes darting down the field and says, I'm going to get this out of here for us. And he's going to run, still going, uncontested, feeds it off to Ian. Ian over to Carter Gregory. Carter's got the top left corner for number 4. Zarzaka to Long to Carter to Twine. 9-3. And the route is back on with 3 unanswered goals by the Land Sharks to open this quarter.
So, Tony, we're getting some shout-outs here. First of all, our good luck charms in Houston are watching, CJ and Lakin Cooley.
Yeah, CJ and Lakin.
It's the only way it should be, and we definitely got them today with the noon game. We didn't have to worry about bedtimes at least, so that's great.
Yeah.
Have my in-laws, Gigi and BR, watching their grandson Gavin in goal. Good to see. Dennis Bradford checking in with us. Let's go Shark and the Clamps. Looks like we have someone from Aiken checking in for Braden Sapp.
All right, the Sapp family checking in. There's trouble. There's Carter to Ian. Ian Long rings it. That's going to be number 10 for the Land Sharks. 10-3, 9:45 to play in the half.
Kristen Mussick checking in. You got this, OC.
So Ian Long continues to chip away at the rookie record book, which I think he's going to have well in hand here. Marina's moving toward me. Somebody broke something. Ian moves into the number 7 slot for, which is his lucky number, clearly, because he is number 7. Moves to number 7 on the career goal list. Number 4?
Yeah.
Oh, Ian's number 4.
Clamp
I'm
7.
I'm staring at the clamp. Once again, everybody keeping me honest.
We all keep each other in check here.
All right, the feed is back behind to the bro man, over to Carter Gregory, up top to Caden Costa. The number 2 offense line is in there, over to Finn Wagner. Liam Rosebach rattling around the middle. Ian's in front. He takes a lot of heavy checks. Good check from number 12, Dylan Seeley. He's a big fella.
And again, Tony, with Ian Long, think about that. First of all, a freshman, number 7 on the single-season goal record chart, and is a kid that didn't touch the field really in our first game against Lucy Beckham. So
right,
just an unbelievable part of this team right now. Great to see that kind of contribution from your young guys.
The feedback on that young man and the respect that these seniors have for that and the trust that they have in him. They said, AJ's told me there's a drive by Ian. He was looking for it again. Ward stopped it. He couldn't find it for a minute there. He looked behind him.
Ward doing great on those low shots.
Ward's doing great on all the shots, and he is being covered in rubber.
For a big guy, he gets down quick.
Yeah, he is. That is a talented goaltender. I don't have years. I have a roster that was sent to me, and it's a graphic, so it doesn't have heights, weights, and years on it. And we know his height and his weight. They're big. There's a great back check by Carter Gregory.
Looks like he's walking that last one off a little bit, too. Hope he's not too hurt in there. Well,
Brody tries to make the feed over to Peanut. There's a little miscommunication there, and it looks like the goaltender's got it. Ward's got it back behind there, and he is finding out why Peanut is the Defensive Player of the Year for the state. There's a ditch effort to get it out of here. Caden Costa comes crashing in, and it's going to stay Oceanside ball. Great hustle by the kamikaze Caden Costa.
Great heads-up play. We are debating which way the ball's going. No, we're not.
So we're I'm going to say I thought it was going to be black ball because Caden touched it last.
Okay.
But we were going to take it. So good judgment got the better of the referee crew, and it's going to be Hornets ball.
Because I swore I heard the ref on the other side of the field say it was white ball.
He did, but he was all the way on the other side of the field. The near ref had better eyes on it, and he says, no, not so fast.
That should be the case.
So Thurman's going to bring it up. They're going to get a free in, which is weird for an out-of-bounds ball, I think.
Oh, well, we have a penalty, so there was a flag somewhere.
We didn't see any laundry, and that is the freshman. Is that Ian over there?
Yeah, that's not a place we see Ian Long very often.
He's a sweet young boy. He wouldn't do anything to harm anyone.
I'm sure Sawyer will show him the ropes of what happens over there.
Yeah, Sawyer said, kneel here. So
What a check.
So the fortress is out there, the man-down defense, which is virtually impenetrable. And there's a failed can opener move, and I'll tell you, that young man was taking heavy fire, and he fires one wide. So that was Braden Sapp. What an effort by Sapp, and he was just taking rounds from everywhere.
Oh, boy.
There's a looper out there. Gavin kind of looped one up. AJ can't find it. It's behind you, son. Go get the ball. It's the round thing. White. There's a tiptoe on the line by Thurman. I'm learning the names, folks. So Thurman tiptoes the line, gets away from AJ. AJ couldn't find the ball. There's a breakup. Gavin Harrison's got it. He's looking for 33, and so it goes.
There we go.
AJ turns on the Jets, runs away, takes a nasty whip check from behind. No matter. He's going to draw the flag for that. There's Ian's out of the box, over to Brody. Brody Hollingsworth dips it in, and that's the hat trick for Brody. So the bro man, Brody Hollingsworth, double deuce. He lights it up for his hat trick of the day, and he'll chase a sombrero.
Those are the Brody goals we're used to seeing, too.
Yeah.
Those little dipsy doodles kind of dancing with the goalie in front.
Now there's a guy who's happy to see the week off as he continues to get better and better and better from that back, that fractured vertebrae that he had in his back. And he just looks like Brody of old. I think he got an inch taller over the break. I asked him, I walked up to him before the game, and I said, how you feel? And he said, I feel good, Mr. Tony. I said, well, that's good. I said, you're still looking a little skinny. I said, did you grow? Did you eat anything? He says, yeah, I'm not a big eater. You know that. So the bro man rings in his fourth of the day. There's some action at the dot. AJ and Reese converge on it. Outlet is to the clamp. The clamp feigns a shot, and he says, I'm going to take this. And Brody dips in for number 5. And this is the Brody Hollingsworth that we know and love.
Just a little redirect slap shot there by Hollingsworth right in front of the goal.
My goodness, what good work. So that's going to be 12, and all of a sudden we're flirting with a 10-goal lead here, sitting here at 9. So Brody's got that's his number 4 or 5. Was it 4? I think it's 5. I think he just had 2 back-to-back. Now it's 4? All right. It's hat trick and then 4. So he's on the –
Tony's trying to take on another role as the backup stat keeper here.
You know what?
And he's being overruled.
Unfortunately, I can't keep my mouth shut because it's my job to talk. But I will cease and desist from trying to correct Marina. As you know, that's a losing fight. Over to AJ, and we're back to live lacrosse here. AJ's going to dip out. Costa's coming on. Costa's coming on. There's MJ Zanone coming in. So now we've got kind of a hybrid line where we've got MJ, Jackson Heineman. The trigger is missing from that one line. Not sure what's going on there. Brody says, I'm going to take it again, and Ward says, you're not going to beat me twice. Carter Gregory's wide open. That is dangerous proposition. The kamikaze whistles one high.
Yeah, the Aiken defense just kind of caught flat-foot there. Everybody just standing still.
There's rings one off the post as MJ. We haven't called his name for a goal yet today. Ian Long does an overhand bouncer. Ward corrals it. And that young man just keeps saving. And there's Brody hustling, and Brody says, I'm going to take it from the big fella, or at least I'm going to bother him until he coughs it up.
Oh, we got a glove on the field.
There's a glove on the ground.
Nice job on the ref stopping that. We don't need any broken hands out there.
And there's a timeout for Aiken. Wow. All of a sudden, Oceanside finds its legs and finds its feet and is seeing the game differently after that 3-goal onslaught to begin the quarter. And Coach Harris's boys have responded here in dramatic fashion. So as we march through the playoffs here, and we got a lot of lacrosse left to play here, so I don't want to count it until it's secured for real. But, that's going to put us in with probably a more familiar face with a Christchurch or a AC Flora or some combination. Forgive me, I didn't review the bracket.
Yeah, I think the way the bracket shapes up, AC Flora actually plays Christchurch. So that's going to be interesting to see who comes out of that game. I'm gonna say probably going to be the strongest game of the upstate teams in the bracket. I believe right now where we stand, we have a Philip Simmons Iron Horses team that's going to match up against the Bishop England Bishops, and we will get the winner of that match.
So we're going to get one end or the other of Clements Ferry Road roll in here probably Tuesday?
I believe it's Tuesday.
I think Tuesday night would be the matchup there. So Philip Simmons and, traditionally a powerhouse over there. We'll welcome the Moldenauer family in here, our brethren from our loggerheads. Which brings me to another point. Congratulations to your boy and mine who are going to play in the North-South game. They've both been voted into the North-South game. And also Weston Moldenauer's on that roster.
Yes, he is. Yep.
Bear Hankins from Lucy Beckham. So we're all going to trek up to Columbia when this is all over.
We'll be there. Well, hopefully we'll be there 2 weekends in a row.
Hopefully we'll be there 2 weekends in a row. So Ward brings it out. The big goaltender feeds it over to number 12 there, Dylan Seeley. Seeley feeds it up to 10. Stegmeyer. Stegmeyer's under heavy pressure. He gets bowled. Stegmeyer picks himself up after a peanut incident.
Stegmeyer's a great Northeast Pennsylvania brewery back in the day.
It sure was. And there is A.J. Zarzaka, rings it for his second of the day. Takes the feed, I think, from Brody Hollingsworth across the net. So 33 gets in for his second, and that's going to make it a 10-goal lead, 13-3 here with 5 to play in the half. Carter Gregory on the assist there. So Carter takes over the career assist. He's number one.
He's had it for a while.
Oh, he's had it for a while.
But we're just throwing it out there. We get these little small chunks of the record book tossed at us here and there. So,
and the part of this crew that you don't see because he's over across the field next to the scoring table is Chris Gregory, and him and Angie somehow managed to produce these numbers. Oh, and there's one that skips in. So number 7, Cullen Avishine, he rips one in from the top of the restraining box, and I don't know that Gavin saw it.
Kind of a knuckleball low roller goal, and you're right. I just don't think he was in a position to make a stop there.
So the clamp is going to line up there. So it's 13-4 with just under 5 to play here. And we've got the clamp rolling downfield. He makes another successful faceoff, feeds it over to Brody Hollingsworth for number 5. Correct? Yes, that's number 5 for the Bro-Man. And the clamp to Hollingsworth connection is wide open today, so that's going to be 14-4, back to a 10-goal deficit for the Hornets. So the Bro-Man is having a career day, and we love to see it.
You'd have to think Aiken's going to make an adjustment to that because Brody has really set up shop on that left post, and they haven't really made an adjustment. So probably something they'll be talking about at halftime.
Well, they're going to have to stop. And again, this Oceanside team, how do you decide who you're going to cover and who you're not? That's with the amount of firepower we have on the front line. There's a feed into AJ. He makes a dip down, avoids the check, feeds it into Long. Long's getting work from number 34 over there. I don't have a 34 on my roster, so sorry, you're number 34. But you were doing good work. Costa brings it up, feeds it over to Carter Gregory. Carter's getting covered there. He pushes it over to Jackson Hyman. Jackson, something we're going to have to investigate, Coach, is where is the trigger? This is the third shift that line's been out there without him. And there is Brody Hollingsworth. He is dancing under the sombrero.
Oh my gosh,
that's number 6 for Brody Hollingsworth. We have a sombrero.
We get to do the dance.
We get to do the sombrero dance.
So the problem is we don't have anything for 9.
Well, if we get a 9, we're just going to bow like we're not worthy.
Sombrero with an exponent or something.
Yeah, there's going to be something. So 6 goals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Brody Hollingsworth in a career day for him.
And crazy how they all look just about identical. I mean, they were all that kind of goal.
So and there's an errant pass there as the Hornets were able to come up with the face-off, but no matter. Silas Gillum trying to corral that in. Andy Jones says, I'll take it. He pushes it over to Carter Gregory. Carter tries to feed it inside to Kimker. We haven't seen Kimker today, so good to call his name.
Sun making an appearance here, which means we're going to be heating up this turf.
Yep, it was 10 degrees hotter immediately. Pushes it over to Finn Wagner.
Oh, and
there's the trigger.
Look who's coming out, Tone.
I was wondering what happened to him.
Maybe he had to brush that hair over there or something.
Those golden locks for the trigger underneath that gleaming blue helmet. Carter Gregory's looking, feeds it over to Brody. But they said, no, you can't have that one, Brody. And there's a great stop by Ward, another behind-the-back attempt. And this goaltender, what can you say about Ward?
I mean, we've got 15 on the board, but Ward has done an amazing job at stopping a lot of shots in there so far.
He's got to have 15 saves. I mean, we just covered him in rubber.
He has 8 saves, says our statistician.
Thank you, Marina.
Which I think is still pretty darn impressive.
Yeah. So the trigger doing some gritty work, comes up with the ball. He's harassed by 34 over there. Again, not on my roster, so good job, 34. He's a good defender.
These are 3 big defenders on this team, Tony. You see the size of those guys?
I do. And so there's number 13, also not on the roster. Oh, yeah, Jackson Flowers. That's a cool name, too. I'll tell you this, there's going to be some nicknames flying around here in the second half. I'm just warming up. So the trigger out there being covered and harassed by 34, strong defender, like I said. He's out there over by the Porta-John in the far corner of the construction site.
Not a place you want to hang out.
No. Brody up top in a rare appearance at the top of the restraining box. Unfamiliar territory for him. Ian Long comes ripping, and there's another save by Ward for his 9th save of the day, and that ball heads out to the pond in front of Faison Road here at the Reef.
Ward's going to need a cold tub tonight, man. He is just taking fire.
So Carter Gregory brings it in from under the goalpost. Liam Rosebach offers him sort of a pick. Feeds it back to Liam. Liam's going to look for it. He rips around, and Liam Rosebach lights the lamp, which we always talk about. He's good for one a game.
Mr. Efficiency, man. He takes those shots that he knows are his.
Him and Peanut have the 2 best shot efficiencies on the field. So that's 16-4 is going to give us a 12-goal lead, and that's probably going to trigger the running clock.
Yeah, we got 1:32 left in the first half.
So once we face this off, the clock will likely not stop for the remainder of the game under South Carolina rule, even if it ends up to be a 1-goal game, unlikely, but the clock will continue to roll once you reach that 12-goal deficit mark. So the Clamp doing gritty work out there. Runs it in, dishes it off to Carter. Carter pushes it over to AJ. AJ's hunting a hat trick. He hasn't seen that in a while as he's taken on this dual hybrid role of offense and defense, playing both sides of the ball. Costa's got it. He's going to rest a minute and kind of lurk and work his way back to the midline. Zanone comes on. Zanone over to Long. Long pushes it over to Carter Gregory. They're giving Carter an awful lot of room. And Zanone is snake bit. It's the second time he's rang one off the post.
Just yard sales, the poor goalie.
Ward out front, misses the pass. Jackson Hyman backs all the way up to the player bench. Covered by Nick Harris out there. Rolls one, bowls one. Now we're playing bocce.
Feels like that day, just a cocktail in hand and some bocce balls, right?
Indeed. So Caden Costa loses his footing. Some great defense by 47 there. Also not on my roster, but great. Oh, no, Jack Hanna. So Hanna causes a turnover. No matter. The Sharks get it back. Long feeds it into Brody. Brody out front to Zanone. And Zanone finally lights the lamp. MJ Magic Zanone gets in for the 17th goal for Oceanside with 6.1 seconds left to play in the half.
Zanone doing his best Michael Jordan in front of the goal there.
Wow.
Kind of.
MJ doing MJ things. That will go down in history as one of our better characterizations of what a player can do. He does MJ things.
We keep things simple.
And here is Cole Hamilton, the wrestler, working his way out to the face-off dot in relief of the clamp.
It's what we call low center of gravity right
well,
there.
and Cole Hamilton, of course, from the Hamilton family here of Bob and Money Megan Hamilton, who runs our Oceanside Black and Blue Booster Club for the football team. Cole is an outstanding wrestler. He wrestles for Wando because we don't have a team, and he understands leverage and position, and he's going to do very well in that role. And he's quick. There's a bunch of whistles, and that's going to be the half. So all Oceanside, the route is on. The running clock is going or will be going when we return from the half. 17-4 Oceanside. So some quick analysis before we take a break to get a drink of water and relax for a minute. Coach, I mean, we had that little bout of sloppiness, which seems to be corrected. This is a spirited Aiken team. It's not a big roster. They're in the heat here. They're going to get tired. They're going to wear down, and that doesn't spell good things when you're dealing with this Oceanside team.
You know, I'll tell you, these Aiken boys, they came to compete. I mean, you walk in here, you're playing an Oceanside team. I mean, I'm sure they go online. They know the kinds of teams that Oceanside's gone out and beat. And, they started playing this game like they were here to win. And, I think Oceanside's just proven to be a little too much for them. But love the competition. I'm seeing a lot of good sportsmanship out there among guys. And, obviously we want to see this Aiken program continue to grow because we were in this position 10, 12 years ago.
Sure.
So.
They're going to do really good things. Their coaching staff is well experienced. They come out of Virginia. Aiken's, like I said, it's one of those really tough, humble, hard-working communities, and this is a sport that rewards hard work and grittiness, and I think these coaches have it on the right track. If they can see their way to develop a youth program where they can bring players along and not have to compete as hard, that North Augusta, Aiken County community there, the population boom there is like it is elsewhere in South Carolina. There's a lot going on there, and they're going to continue to gather athletes. And I wouldn't be surprised in 3-4 years if you're seeing their name and their seeding rank, up in single digits.
Definitely.
So with that, I think we take a little break.
Got a couple shout-outs coming in here.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Aunt Margie and Uncle Ron Oblin checking in from Maryland. My son's aunt and uncle. Nice to hear from you guys. Again, the Coolies in Houston. You have Sheila Johnson tuning in from Florida. Great going, Land Sharks. So thanks, everybody, for sending us comments. We love to have them. And in the meantime, we're going to take a quick break here for half, and we'll be back soon.
Thanks, folks. We'll see you shortly.
pantry. Take a sip and I'm dancing. She bop like a plan B. She lit like a candle. Boot it up in the car seat. Hold it go for ransom. Want her back, better call me. It's whatever I'm geek. Burn the punch at the party. I'm fly, looking at me. I'll probably get fried. I look like a mummy. I'm getting this cash, it's my latest Sunday. I guess you won't talk if it ain't about the money. My boys in the trap and they jump like a bunny. Got pounds in.
And we are back live from the Reef at Oceanside Collegiate Academy in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina for today's South Carolina High School League second round playoff action for boys lacrosse. The Oceanside Land Sharks on top of the Aiken Hornets by 17-4. The route is on. The field is tilted. We appreciate the competition. I think we're going to see some adjustments out of this Aiken team. I don't think they're done yet, Coach. This is a good team.
No, you don't travel as far as they did to just lay down like this. So hopefully they'll use this as an opportunity to grow their team, grow their program. Try some new things this quarter that maybe you haven't done in the first because you were nervous. Obviously, Brody standing on your doorstep, that's someone you want to try to eliminate, in this second half. So we'll see how they adjust. And like you said, Tony, smaller squad, so they're dealing with this heat and everything too, which doesn't make it easy on them.
Yeah, I think that, and look, they've got the one thing they don't have to worry about is goaltending.
No,
this fella, can we say enough about Ryder Ward?
Yeah, he's done a great job, and again, the scoreboard doesn't look so great for him, but he has made some just magnificent saves today.
Yeah, the Ward family, I don't know if they're here or they're watching, but I tell you, you've got a talented young man, big boy in goal there. The big fellow's doing a great job. So we're back under live lacrosse here. Carter Gregory, the clamp wins the faceoff. Carter Gregory sets up shop, and we've still got those changes in the lineup here where we've got Costa out here on the one line. Jackson Hyman, so we're seeing a little less of the trigger. I hope he's okay. He seemed fine at the end of the half there, but clearly they've made a decision to hold him out in favor of having another right hand. There's a bobble by Ian.
Yeah, it was a nice back.
And what a great effort by MJ Zanone. Sorry, Coach, I stepped on you.
No, you're good. You're good.
So it looked like a turnover, and Aiken was moving the ball. And, MJ just with a tremendous effort goes and makes a back check, and they cough up the ball, and Oceanside's back in business. And you feel for this Aiken team. Like, is there nothing they can do? Somehow we end up with the ball, and they're just, they're playing defense. The time of possession here is wildly tilted. There's a feed inside to Carter Gregory, and Carter gets denied.
Great save by 99 Ward.
There's a lot of traffic in front of the net. It looks like 14's going to come up with it there. Nick Harris, it somehow ends up back with Oceanside. Again, true to form, Jackson Hyman, we haven't called his number. He's played great defense. He's been a great participant in the game here. And the worst thing that could happen to Aiken at this point is for Jackson to get hot.
Yeah, I believe he's on the board today with an assist.
Costa feeds it over to Jackson. Jackson standing out wide. Brody, there's a pickoff by number 12, Dylan Seeley. And the ball's back on the ground. Then 34, who's not on our roster, who has been a tremendous, he loses the ball behind him. It won't go out of bounds, so Brody scoops it up in the corner. Its ball just stopped. Zanone.
Unfortunately for Aiken, making some great defensive plays here and just not able to get the ball
in transition.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because they're playing some good aggressive defense here to start the third.
And look, we are a program that understands good defense with the tremendous defense that we have, and I'm telling you, these guys are doing a good job. And there is Ward with another save on a blistering shot from Carter Gregory, and there's Ward again, back-to-back saves, and it almost rolls in behind him. He comes out with it, and Ward, it's just, again, there's MJ. MJ undresses himself, trying to pry the ball away from the big fella. And there's an empty net shot, which was high and wide.
Angie, did you keep up with that? That was crazy there. There was a lot going on. So for everyone at home, we had the ball going upfield. Peanut makes a pickoff and fires a shot from midfield because the goalie was out of the goal. And because the shot missed and we had no one backing up, it's a turnover now to the Aiken Hornets, who are trying to bring the ball back upfield.
All right, so we're back under live. AJ shoulders 14 off the ball. Peanut Seaton comes up with it. So the defensive posture of Oceanside from the initial face-off there or turnover will come back. Brody Hollingsworth checking in. MJ Zanone checking in. Heinman checking in. Costa checking in. So that what is currently our one offense is on the field. And they're just not going to guard MJ for some strange reason, and he rolls one in. That might be the easiest goal we've ever seen MJ score, and MJ's on the board.
Yeah, MJ's usually getting undressed
for his second.
In front of the goal mouth with his goals, and there he was just tiptoeing through the tulips.
I'd like to have some nifty commentary for that, but I was more shocked that they just let him walk in there. 18-4, 7:45 to play in the third quarter.
We've got the reemergence of Colton Hamilton at the midfield dot.
Love to watch Colton. I was always the smallest guy on every football team I ever played with, so I got an affinity for the little guys. And
some valuable experience for the young man here in a playoff game.
So Colton goes out there and gives it his best, and number 7 for the Hornets comes up with it. Cullen Avershine. I think it's Overshine.
It's going to be a turnover on the Aiken Hornets.
There's a little bit of a risky pass going in there to, I don't know, then a bobble by the pickpocket, rare. Nobody takes care of the ball better than Thomas. He pushes it up. Another bobble by Andy Jones because his hair's blonde. And
maybe these guys sniffed too much hair dye this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's been hair dye and shavings, and, there's some strange beautician positions going on here with our team. As is tradition with any lacrosse team specifically. I think a lot of sports do it, but like most things, lacrosse seems to take it next level with some playoff hairdos.
Well, it was my understanding our boy Kamikaze was up at 7 a.m. to get the Oceanside O shaved in the back of his head.
Oh, and there's the trigger, rips one off the post in a dramatic return to the field.
And the reason being, Tony, he went to prom last night with his girlfriend and didn't think it would be good to have an O shaved in the back of his head for prom.
And look, I mean, I'm going to credit Emily with that, his mother, who is St. Emily. I think that she probably gave him some good advice there, or possibly forbid it to occur.
Mama M doing her stuff.
Indeed, and there is a nice feed out to midfield. So the trigger's playing midi here, because if not, he's on the wrong side of the line. And number 8 there is just getting mauled. That's Field Thurman, and he ends up in the player bench for Oceanside. That's going to be a push, to say the least. It's going to remain Hornet ball.
Yeah, Trigger was a little upset that he wasn't dropping the ball, so he just said, I'll push you out of bounds instead.
So the Trigger youngest brother, Silas, hunting down the ball there, and then it goes back over to Stegmeyer. And then 6 is Elvis. The King is in the offensive zone here. There was Braden Sapp just got kind of tied up there, and there's an outlet to Gagoots. A.J. Zarzaka running the field, feeds it over to Carter Gregory. A.J. feeds it into Brody, and there's Brody's 7th goal of the day for Brody, the Broman, double deuce Hollingsworth. AJ's number, with that assist, AJ will pick up the number 7 spot in career assists for the Land Sharks. So how many times, just whether we've been commentating or not, as parents, how many times have we said AJ, Carter, Brody?
Yep. I was going to say, Tony, that's your boy. Head up, looking to make that pass the whole way down the field. That's AJ personified right there.
He's going to step out of the game in favor of Owen Kimpker. Kimpker's going to come on in relief of A.J. after A.J. just took over the number 7 slot in career assists. And just to watch those 3 boys, as we have watched since they were literally 10 years old, just one to the other. It used to be A.J. in the defensive zone feeding it out to to Carter at midfield and then into Brody by the net. And it just seems like that happens over and over and over again. And we've got to really value it as parents because it's, like I said, the unrelenting march to triple zeros is on.
It is.
We're going to suck every tick of the clock between now and that state championship game if we can stay alive, which all indications are we're going to be fine for today.
Looks like we'll get one more game out of this year.
Sawyer Arnold, the all-world defensive football player, playing great defense, short stick defense out there. We've got a Woodsy sighting out there, number 19, or that's Finley.
That's yeah.
Finley. We've got a Finley
Woodsy's out there, too.
Woodsy is out there somewhere. I know I saw him. And
Number
there is
6.
number 99 with a point-blank save on Ian Long. And we continue to say that regardless of the score, we continue to shower accolades on Ryder Ward and the job that he is doing in net for the Hornets. That's got to be a 10 or 11 saves for him easily. Almost 15.
Boy,
Marina
what a
says.
day! What a day for that gentleman. 15 saves, and we're still 2 minutes 40 seconds left in the third quarter here.
I mean, he's got 15 saves on the number 1 team in South Carolina, and a national ranking in the top 20. And there's a big ball by MJ Magic Zanone, and that is his hat trick for the day. Number 3 for MJ Zanone. Proud of you, MJ. Take your Dr. Seuss cleats and head for the sideline and get a cold drink.
Those are bright, man.
So we're going to that was an assist for Ian Long, who continues to chip away at record books. AJ is going to make a return here. Colton Hamilton comes strutting out to the dot to duke it out with Cullen Overshine. Looks like the trigger's back on attack. So we've got a change in the attack there. We've got 2 non-rights on the attack side there. There's a shot in on Gavin. He manages to corral it.
That was another one of those tricky knuckleball bouncers. He was able to knock that one down, but it
flips
it
to AJ. AJ kind of jogging his way to midfield. Now finds it. He's going to get himself in there. He flips it to the trigger. We still haven't had a touch. There's the touch. AJ is going to turn around and jog it back to the sidelines. What is that?
So that was offsides.
So somebody jumped out of the box too soon, I assume?
It's the only thing I can think is that we had someone sub in from the box before our guy that was subbing through the midfield made it across the line.
So we botched the box. So AJ gets denied. There's a penalty. It looks like Silas Gillum's going to take a trip to the sin bin as number 30 gets upended there. 30 is not on my roster, so I don't know the name. Sorry for your folks there, but, a valiant effort as you roll around on the turf here at the Reef at the hands of Silas Gillum, who will take a knee in the sin bin for a solid 30-second run.
So if I'm not mistaken, Tony, this Aiken team moved the ball pretty well on their last man up. I don't think they got any points out of it, but we're definitely moving the ball around.
Yeah, they're going to keep working. What do we say, Coach? Just get one.
Yeah.
They're going to keep working until they get one. We're going to tick down. This quarter is going to be done here. They're going to hold on to the ball so that we don't have to face it off, right? So they'll get the ball to start the fourth.
Correct.
20-4, all Oceanside in a complete tilt. And again, you look at the bright spots for this Aiken team. They're working hard. There's no quitting this team. They clearly have some goals as an organization. But we'll turn our attention to the Oceanside team and the coaching staff there and the job they've done as we're on a streak. We haven't lost since the 5th game of the season. So Tom Harris and Colin Reich and Clark Seaton and Joey Boylston and Alex Rode is here. We have the full complement of coaches, full-time and part-time.
Yeah, a lot of black polo shirts over there today. Good to see.
On the scene. And a lot of Oceanside pride with those blue helmets gleaming in the sun that's peeked out here. the excitement around this team and the possibility of that trophy coming back to Faison Road here since 2019. We haven't had it. We've come close a couple of times, but there's never been an opportunity like what this team has got. And the talent level and the way this is built year to year to year. Of course, the 7 seniors that are going to step out here are going to create an enormous chasm, but it's going to be backfilled fairly quickly by the talent we've called all season in the underclassmen here.
Yeah, there's some underclassmen that are really ready to fill some shoes, and even some guys that are on that sideline that we don't see on this field all the time. They're going to have a whole off season to get ready and pop in here and fill some holes in this lineup that'll be left by our seniors, and it'll be great to see how this team shapes up for next season. I also think, Tony, we'll be seeing some other guys on the field here in this fourth quarter. It looks like we still have a starting contingent out here, but my guess is as we tick on, we'll start seeing some of our younger guys out here on the field.
Well, we're man down, so the fortress is out there.
There you go. That makes sense.
You're looking at all the start. We don't have a backup fortress.
Right.
We only have a fortress, and there's the pickpocket doing what the pickpocket does. And with that, he has just become number 3 at both ground balls and caused turnovers. Thomas, the pickpocket Huffines, the best pickpocket in the business, just took over the number 3 slot and carved his name in immortality in the Oceanside record books.
One of the easiest nicknames you had to give there, Tony, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he's been the pickpocket since we started doing this. Probably broadcast 1, I think I spit that out, and it's never been more fitting for a player. So we do have some, we're going to see some new faces in here. Maybe not. That's the one offense out there. Oh, well, there's Finn Wagner's out on attack. And so it's an interesting combination here. Jackson Hyman looking to light it, and Jackson Hyman gets the twine.
Nice to see Jackson sink one in the back of the net there.
21-4, 10:54 to play in the game. And Jackson Hyman gets his. So big Joey Football lumbering his way to the near wing position. I see blonde hair out from under his helmet.
He's got the dew going. Huh?
Nobody's going to make fun of Joey because he's a mountain of a human being, and the penalty could be severe. So he can do anything he wants with his hair. So Joey Football steps out onto the field. You've got Sawyer Arnold on the other wing, so the entire all-state defensive line is on the front line.
Looks like we got Logan Finley down number 19 with his pole down on defense.
The Finn man. So Finley down there. We've got somebody checking in here. I see another pole. That's Woodsy, right? Running out there?
Yeah, it's a Woodsy-looking run.
Yeah, so that's going to be Woodsy run out there. I'll tell you, he is a spark for a little guy. I mean, he's fun to watch.
He handles that long pole well for a smaller statured kid, and he's one of those guys that's going to come back next year. He'll probably be 4 inches taller and 20 pounds heavier.
Could be. There's Andy Jones takes a slide on the Oceanside turf. Feed is over to number 2 there, Caden Sapp. So Cadence rolls behind the net, and he's got this incredible defense. Finley just giving him a tough way to go. And the Hornets looking for any kind of sustained offense, give their defense a rest. So that's number 10 there. That's Stegmeyer. Stegmeyer weans inside. He ends up on the turf, pushes it over to number 8, Thurman. Thurman takes a stutter step. Andy Jones isn't buying it. Thurman feeds it over, and they're trying to clock around. Elvis with the ball. The King is in the zone. Pushes it out here to number 10. Stegmeyer up top. He kind of floats a muffin in front there. I think he thought there was going to be a player there to take a feed, and then I'm pretty sure Sawyer Arnold got a piece of his stick there. So the outlet's going to come from Gavin to Finley. Finley plays a little dribble with it on the sidelines, and he finally dishes it up the field to Woodsy.
He danced with the devil of the sideline there.
Yeah, Woodsy can't hang on to it, and you're going to have a long pole running down here, number 21, Hatchell. Hatchell dumps it off to the King, Elvis.
Elvis, nice job fielding that pass right down by his shoestrings.
Yeah, he's got some game, this Elvis. We haven't been able to see it much because he plays attack, and they haven't had a sustained drive. And there's one, Elvis says, thank you very much. And he puts it in the net.
Tucks it right in on the side of Harrison. You were waiting for him.
I was waiting all day for Elvis to do something good. And when it's over, he will leave the building.
You wanted Elvis to be, to be in the building there.
So
I love it.
So the King does a little shake, rattle, and roll and puts one in the twine behind Harrison. 21-5, 7:45 and ticking down. The clock will not stop. Joey football out here. The Clamp making a return late in the game here. At the next stoppage, remind me to thank sponsors. We haven't done that
we
yet.
didn't do
We
sponsors.
really are rusty. I'm so sorry to everybody.
Yeah, the bigger question is, do I even have the list?
Well, I have the list. My rosters. Oh, and there's a Whistler from the Clamp. And that's picked up by Wheezy. Wheezy!
Oh, Wheezy's in the building.
Yo, Wheezy!
He's moving on up.
He is moving on up. So Wheezy gets himself into the game, and he backed up the shot. So we got Kimker driving in the zone. Kimker winds, fires, and it hit a body.
Yeah, I think he got one of the poles in the back, number 9 maybe.
So it rolls out to...
And for everyone at home, we got
Inman.
this clock running right now, so we're at 6:40 left in the game.
So Kimker's going to take another swing at it, feeds it back to Wheezy. Wheezy out to number 3 is Miller Seaton. Is it Miller time? No, it is not.
Not yet.
Miller puts the ball on the ground twice. He's got, the size differential between him and number 21 there, Ben Hatchell.
Miller time has been delayed.
Yes. So Miller is fighting for it. Finn Wagner comes out of the pile with it, and oh my goodness gracious.
The goalie just cleans up Mr. Kimker.
Goodness
Yikes.
gracious. Mr. Ward meet Mr. Kimker, and Kimker took the wrong end of that one, and the goalie says, I've been working so hard I need to kneel down. And
yikes.
Ryder Ward just blevied Kimker.
Now, I don't know if looks like we're going to have to bring in a reserve goalie that was playing on the field.
Yeah, so it's going to
this
go
is
over to number 2, Caden Sapp is putting the goalie helmet on.
It's going to take a brief moment here of an equipment change.
So let me thank sponsors.
Yeah, go for it. And I don't have the post. I'm sorry.
Since we
had issues with our imaging on the box here.
So we want to thank all of our sponsors. First of all, our administration. They're going to take a time out here. So we want to thank our administration. Christina Brown, principal. Mark Meyer is here today on premises, our athletic director. Brooks Barano, assistant athletic director. Katie Niemeyer and Savannah Metz, our athletic training staff from Roper St. Francis Athletic Training. Benjamin Franklin Plumbing of Charleston. For all your residential and light commercial needs, call Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. You deserve the best. Bowline Wealth Management, Coastal Millwork and Supply, Fast Trans Intermodal, Longshore Boats. Today is a boat day.
Boat day.
Absolute boat day. Longshore Boats, McDonald's, Saltwater Rides, SGKA Investments, the Charleston Design Center, Thomas Supply Company, Axis Endurance Coaching, Charleston Elite Lacrosse, Lolax Lacrosse, Matzo Deli, Jersey Mike's Subs, Beacon Community Bank, Acme Low Country Kitchen. As the Hornet faithful cheer on Caden Sapp, who's going to take the goaltending duties during the change here.
And for everyone at home, Owen Kimker, who took the worst part of that hit, looks no worse for the wear. He's stayed on the field and is moving around just fine.
So they're going to be afforded a couple of warm-up shots before they turn this poor kid over to the Oceanside offense. Acme Low Country Kitchen, Playa Bowls, 3 locations, Somerville, downtown, and Mount Pleasant. James and Kristen Rosebach, the Hymans, the Longs, the Funkadelics. Johnson's, Craybills, Hollingsworths, Gregory's, Harrison's, Zarzakas, Huffines, and everyone else who helps make Oceanside lacrosse possible in this historic season as we continue to march on in the unrelenting march to triple zeros and hopefully a state championship banner. We are about to get back underway, so thank you to everyone who makes OCA lacrosse, OLAX.
We had
possible.
our senior pasta night last night for our seniors. We all got together at the Harrison House, and dined on some homemade vodka penne pasta and
Very sorry I missed that.
breadsticks and salad. It was a nice
Oh, my
time just to
God.
have the seniors all together. We were missing AJ. He was working, and you guys had the girls' game. And we were also missing Caden, who was attending his prom with his lovely lady. But nice time was had by the boys. Good just to gather with some great parents and great kids and had a nice night.
So, that is Charlie Funkadelic makes his presence felt, and the Funkadelic is on the board for the 22nd goal of this game at the 4:47 mark. So, good ball movement by the youth movement inside. I think everybody touched it. Miller Seaton feeds it over to Charlie Funk, and the Funk lays down the Funk.
I feel like next year he needs like a goal song. I mean, when your name's Funkadelic,
Yeah.
you've got to have like a goal song.
There must be something from the George Clinton catalog
Yes.
that we can play for him.
Definitely.
Whoever takes over these broadcasting duties is going to need a soundbite for that.
Probably be playing that one a lot too.
I would think. I mean, he's gonna take over the throne for Brody Hollingsworth. I think. Both similar stature as freshmen, and he'll probably be 9 feet tall by the time it's over. So, good job, Funkadelic down there doing nasty work on the goal line, living at GLE. So there is Colton Hamilton. Gives up the procedure penalty there and awards possession to the Hornets. So Stegmeyer runs around with it, feeds it.
We had a secretive goalie change. Jeb Plesha, number 32, stepping into the net.
Yeah, so they weren't the only ones that
they
changed goals.
must have took advantage of it when we had all our attention focused at the other end.
So Finley is going to bring the ball in. Stegmeyer's going to take a peek at him. We've got Woodsy up here in front of us. Jeb's going to feed it out, and he's looking for Kimker. Kimker is fast. He runs away from the attack. He runs 34 is a very talented defender. I wish I knew his name. He has done a great job on coverage all day, no matter who's been with him. So Funk is over here on the near side, taking the post that would normally be occupied by Carter Cash Money Gregory. Funk gets bodied up by 21. He feeds it over to 21. He winds his way inside, tries a little behind the back deal that was foiled by the defense. I didn't see who was inside there.
That was number 18. I don't have my roster in front of me.
That was 18, and that was Weezet.
Uh-oh, look at this.
The goaltender is running the field. He's going to feed it inside to
And he's going to stay down there and play some offense.
Stegmeyer.
I love it.
And that is Caden Sapp with some.
I think his boys are saying it's time to go home. It's time to go home.
Get your little hiney out of here. We got business to attend to down here. They feed it out front. There's an errant feed that's going to end up being over and back.
And there's the whistle.
Which will not stop the clock. It's like a girls' game. The whistles don't really matter.
1:45 left in this game.
And all the youngsters on the Ocean side are trying to jam in a goal here so they can say they scored a playoff goal.
Got Rick Knappman checking in from Pennsylvania. Let's go all the way to the finals, he says.
They're going to feed it over. Kempker's got it. Yeah, when these youngins come out, I got to have my roster handy because I can't. Kempker's looking for somewhere to go with it. He feeds it over to Finn Wagner. Finn Wagner rattles around down low, takes a couple of steps, and again, great defense by number 12 there. That's Dylan Seeley. And Kempker takes another seat. Kempker's out taking some.
I was going to say, Kempker's going to need a soak tonight. He's getting beat up a little bit.
Yeah, well, he got a full-body chiropractic adjustment by Ward, the goaltender. Kempker's got it back up top. No worse for the wear. Feeds it over to Inman. Inman looking for it.
40
He's got
seconds
nowhere
left.
to go. Feeds it over to Miller. Miller to Inman. Inman dices inside, takes a bounce wide left of the net. It's backed up by Wheezy. And for the record, folks, if you're listening, their name is Weiss. But he's For the purposes of our broadcast, he is Weezy.
And he will always be. Oh, what a save by number 2 to reserve goalie.
He's under heavy fire from Weezy. Launches one downfield. Robo Reese does a little tip drill with it.
8 seconds left.
Reese is killing clock. Rolls it up. Miller looking for it. Miller-Seaton pushes it in front. Kempker gets bowled over again. Kempker got a hat trick of times on the turf. And everyone's running after the goaltenders. It is a romp, 22-5 here at the Reef. Oceanside Collegiate Academy over the Aiken Hornets in an absolute end-to-end. We got off to a little bit of a rough start. The Aiken Hornets will see their season come to an end. Oceanside will wait to see who is the victor of the Battle of Clements Ferry Road that's going on right now with Bishop England and the Iron Horses of Philip Simmons. So one of those two teams is going to roll in here Tuesday for the next thicket. Doesn't matter who it is. We have to handle our business. We got one more game between us and
you play who you play, right? I mean, there's no changing it. All these games are important. They all carry the same importance. Doesn't matter what team's name's on the uniform.
So that will be the lower state championship.
Yeah, technically.
So that's the semi.
The brackets are strange this year because there's not many upper state teams, so there were actually lower state teams that were mixed into the upper state bracket. So I don't know if the whole lower state, upper state thing even applies this year. But regardless, it'll be a nice challenge for us on Tuesday night here at the Reef. We'll be looking forward to that one. The long-term weather looks great, which is nice for playoff time. Tony, I got to say, this Aiken Hornets team, I don't see many guys without a smile on their face.
No,
I think they were just happy to be here today, happy to compete in this game. We saw a lot of great sportsmanship on the field, and, we want to thank those guys and all their fans. Their fans have certainly been lively back here for making the trip and coming down to play us today.
Yeah, the Aiken community has come here 2 days in a row, and they've taken 20-plus point, drubbings at the hands of the Land Sharks, and it's nothing but smiles. Their fans have been great. Echo everything you just said. They've got a developing program. They will roll a very good nucleus into year 4 next year. Hopefully they've got some off-season work. I saw some different club names on bags and things walking in here. So there are kids that are going to play throughout the summer, and I think we've seen far from the last of this Aiken team. I think it's a program on the rise.
Well, the good news is, Tony, I don't know of any injuries out there today for this Oceanside team. So, you come out of the game unscathed, and, we're back to the drawing board to get ready for Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll be curious to check on the trigger and just see what was limiting his time.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if maybe coaches were just looking, obviously you're going into playoffs. You want to know if you need a different look on a line or something like that. Maybe that was part of it, but who knows? We'll see. But
Could be.
Good game today by Oceanside, like you said. A little bit of shakiness at the start. I think that could be having 2 weeks of not playing competitively. But
well, congratulations to Tom Harris. Another playoff win in his storied career here as the Oceanside head coach. Colin Wright coming back to his alma mater to coach after a great career at St. Joseph University. Joey Boylston on site, Alex Rode on site. Clark Seaton is a Centurion for this program as a father and coach. So very, very happy for the coaching staff. This year means a lot to them. I think every year it means a lot, but this group of seniors has an emotional twinge to it that might be a little different than previous years for coaching staffs. I mean, every year their seniors are important.
Right.
But I think the bond that this group has, the 3-year captains and there's just a special bond here that this year was going to be special. Again, fulfill the prophecy, right? These kids were ordained to do this by those that came before them,
right?
And I think they've taken that mantle, they've worn it proudly, and we just saw the first of what hopefully will be 3 wins here through the playoffs.
Well, fingers crossed. We live to play again, and that's good for us. That means we get one more broadcast, which we love. Good for our boys to get out there on the field and play again. And we'll look forward to the winner of the Philip Simmons Bishop England game also happening today.
Yeah, now, and I won't circle it on the calendar because it's a playoff game, so they're all circled.
Right.
They're all special. But I will say this Bishop England team, our history with them, you know how I feel about rivalries.
Right.
Our history with this Bishop England team, regardless of talent level and rosters, is checkered. And I would not take this team lightly.
No.
They will come here believing they can win this game.
Playoffs are a different brand of competition. I don't care what sport you're talking about. And to me, I think a lot of what happens in the regular season you can just toss out the window. So the last thing we want to do is look past whatever team we're playing next. You got to get the business done that's at hand.
And you got to play 48 minutes, and you got to bring it home.
Right.
Because if you know, I think Bishop England is one of those programs. They will come here with the attitude that they can slay Goliath on Tuesday night.
Definitely.
So with that, folks, we will be looking forward to Tuesday night. We want to thank the Aiken audience for checking in with us and your positive feedback. We want to thank our Oceanside Land Sharks and everybody that makes Oceanside possible. And, Coach, it's great to be back with you. And
Definitely
I'm enjoying
was.
every tick of the clock we get to spend together. Let's close this down, tear down this rig, and get on with the celebration.
Have a good night, everyone.
Take care. Bye.
99. Hell of a game, brother.